Hello everybody. Super good morning to everyone. Kevin Chan here. 8:30 in the morning. How are you guys all doing? Miss me or not? Past few days not around. Went and climb mountain. A leg a bit on the tired side. Also went into the jungle to look at durian farm. Right, so yes, it's a fun recce trip in Penang. Right, so I was in Penang for the past 3 days, looking at places and try to organize certain things around. Right, so yeah, we're planning a excursion in Penang. Right, so for those of you who are able to come to Malaysia, right, so and would like to visit Penang, and maybe durian is something that you guys want to try out. Right, so now wait for the news then. Right, so let me just final arrange everything, and I will launch the offer out for rest of you. You guys who are happy enough want to come and join and look at dragon, all those kind of stuff. Right, so feng shui thing. That will be the time. Right, so but anyway, now go back to today. Today we are gonna talk about going back into building back the essential database for all the Qimen, feng shui, and also bazi. Right, so we are at the junction of talking about Qimen. Right, so deities is one of the Qimen important stuff. Right, it's one of the component in the Qimen chart. And today we will look at the moon deities. Right, so one of the so-called good guy. I know you guys say it's good guy, then it's good guy. All right, so now I can see we need one and only around. The rest of you will join in already. Don't be shy. You guys can put in a hello. Right, so let me know that you are around here. Right, so let me shrink myself down to the smaller version. As usual, get in touch with me would be Telegram would be the best. Right, so you can PM me in Telegram itself. Right, so you want to download thing, Telegram is a place for you to download. Got any formula, right, it's going to be there. Hello Shalise. Right, hello Desmond, how you doing? Right, so there is also a newsletter. So newsletter is excursion related matter. Right, so places where I visited. So like for example, this time I visit Penang, I might write something about a place that is in Penang that is very famous, that I think I haven't even write about it yet, but never mind lah. Let me see how to organize the information first. Right, so then we will look at that. And also forecast. Right, so it's also forecast related matter. So by now you should have already received the Qimen feng shui bazi forecast for the month of March. Right, so it's going to be done. So next week we're going to do the video version. The video version is going to be presented in the community channel, which is the one right above my head if I'm not wrong. Right, yeah, what happened? I need a more powerful light. The light is not hitting the wall correctly, but never mind, it's all right. Don't worry about it. It's small detail, right? So things happen. Time to buy a more powerful light. All right, so the community channel is on Facebook. You can join the community channel. All my video forecast is actually played in the community channel. Right, so if that is what you like, go and take a look at that. Right, so this is a Qimen chart. So this is for those of you who are not very familiar with it. I've spoken in the 5 arts section. So this is under the predictive art, or what we call divination art. Right, so this is one of the many methods that is available to do divination. Right, so this is called the Qimen. Right, so this is how it looks like. Right, so the Qimen component wise, if you take a look, by the way, these are all the classical texts in Qimen. So if you have if you are somebody who can understand classical text, the convenient thing is that a lot of the text has already been scanned into the internet. So you can just go and Google the Chinese text and govern intention related matter and the stem govern people. Right, so these are the 4 areas that it governs. Right, so what happened is that you need to start to build a database about the component. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this include? What does that include? So we have done all the 8 doors already. So if you want the information about the 8 doors, please go back to the Qimen Essential video playlist and you can go and take a look at it. So in terms of the deities, we are halfway. Right, we are halfway there. Right, so we have done chief, harmony, heaven, earth. So today we are doing the moon deities. Then after that you do all the so some people ask what's the red or the black. Red and black is the convention that's been adopted today to separate them into 2 separate cluster, good and bad. They are not good, they are not bad, by the way. right? So by the way, just tell you first that they are not good, they are not bad. Hello Pepper, how are you doing? Got raining man right now? No, my place quite pretty all right. There's no rain, right? So no rain is usually in the afternoon, right? Yeah, right. So that's it, right? So we are gonna take a look at the moon today, right? So yeah, the black and red. So the black color is called the Thanos gang, bad guy gang, and then the red color is called the Avenger gang. Or you're in the DC universe, then the red color is the Batman gang. Black color is the right now it's gonna be dark side lah, right? So the dark side game. Right, so but anyway now to me there's no negative, there's no positive, there's only characteristics. So for you is that just for you to understand the characteristic, right? So come, let's take a look at the moon, right? So the moon, right? So now the moon has always been labeled as the knowledge deity, right? So the deity that is in charge of knowledge accumulation or knowledge storage. You can nicely call the moon as a librarian. Right, the moon is like library, it's like the librarian. The job is there to quietly collect information, quietly collect data, right? So if you hear it in that particular manner, doesn't that means that the moon is a spy? Yes, the moon is a spy, right? So that's the job of the moon, is to spy for information, right? So now depend on which side of the slider you want to call it. Every single deity, every single component, you have the extreme negative side, you have the extreme positive side. All of them have it. So that's why I say that there's no actual definition of good or bad in any Chinese metaphysics practice, right? It's good or bad is a human definition. This is what we do to make ourselves feel better, right? We like to label things as in good or bad just to make ourselves feel better. So energetically, they are nothing good or nothing bad. So moon's ability is basically to stay covert, collect information, just like a librarian, right? So like librarian, sometimes you don't know that the librarian is smart one, right? So the impression that we have on a librarian is is somebody who is very guarded, very reclusive, right? So don't want to interact with the world, so that's the librarian, right? So on the negative side is somebody who has a bit of an ego, maybe because the fellow think that he's very smart, right? So and when they talk to other people, they look down on them in terms of their knowledge, because they have a lot of knowledge that they have accumulated, right? So usually they have a bit of a problem communicating with people, as in refuse to talk to people. Right? So yeah, those are characteristic of the moon. The moon itself doesn't really do anything, right? So so that's why if let's say that you see I know you guys like to say, oh, what if my destiny palace has the moon? Then you are somebody who always try to collect data, like you have that hunger for knowledge. Is it good, is it bad? Good way is you got hunger for knowledge. The bad thing is that you're always in hunger. Right? You see, always accumulating knowledge, no use one, right? So I got no people who collect books and books and books, but they didn't read the book one. Their hobby is to buy book, keep it, buy book, keep it. They don't read the book, right? They don't read the book, they just keep the information, right? So got some people, they buy the book back, and then they keep the book very nicely, right? So if you give me a book, the book sure go, it sure get destroyed one to me. Because I read the book, right? So I read the book, I don't keep the book as a memento thingy. Right? So I'm that type of person. Right? So by the way, everybody's chart has a moon. So when you are doing a forecast reading that time, so if you are looking for knowledge, right? So the moon is the box that you want to look for. Right? If let's say that that is the thing, right? So you want to improve your knowledge, you want to improve your things, then you look at the focal point, which is the moon. So if let's say that if you're asking something, then suddenly the box that you're asking for has the moon there, right? So it generally signals you that there is a learning opportunity there, or there is a requirement for you to do some quiet observation, or you need to be a bit on the what we call covert side of things, right? So like for example, if you're talking about a business partnership, then suddenly there is a moon in the box, right? So there's a moon inside the box right now. Is that it's either there is a hidden partner behind it that you doesn't know, right? So, or this particular deal requires some observation from your side first. It's better for you to stay quiet and observe the situation, right? So, or the moon always associated with a woman. It has nothing to do with woman, by the way. It is associated with woman is because the general perception is woman supposed to be quiet. It doesn't mean that woman is quiet. Okay, right? So as in it's opposed to the yang version of it, which is the more vibrant one, right? So that's usually the guy, right? So the moon is the more quiet side. So that's why when they say that oh, there's a nobleman and then the nobleman is attached with the moon, then we say that this particular nobleman could be a lady. And so that's how the conclusion is being formed when you take a look at it. So that's why you need to know what is inside the moon. So right now, you know that there's a lot of freaking thing inside the moon, right? So you can also know that the moon represents a library. So if you are looking for a place, then, suddenly your, what we call your targeting box has a moon inside, then we know that this might be a library or a place whereby they store things, store or hide things, that I want to call it. Right, so come, let's take a look at some of the information about the moon, right? So the moon have uncanny ability to look for information, right? So last time, if you want information, you go and seek the moon. You go and seek the moon for information. And by the way, the moon also is one of the calendar system, right? So you know that the moon is a calendar system, right? So that's why a lot of time when they seek the moon is to find the correct timing for things to do. Right, so they use the moon as the calendar system, right? So that's why this is it, right? So the moon represent absolute knowledge. So in today's term, it could be your Google, it could be your ChatGPT, it could be your DeepSeek, right? So all of this is basically information or knowledge repository. So now you take a look at whether it's Google, it's DeepSeek, or ChatGPT, right? So do you start to notice that they have this particular tendency of collecting data behind your back? You don't know that they are collecting your data, right? So you use all these platforms, they are collecting your data, right? So the computers actually knows more about you than you. Right, so like the computer, like my Google account definitely know all my travel, right? So it's like I'm going up until the the top tier reviewer for Google already right now, anymore, because every single store also Michelin. Right? What's the point? Every single store also Michelin. But anyway, right? So if you are seeking knowledge, you want absolute knowledge, right? So moon is a very good. So now if let's say this is thrown and applied to feng shui, then right, so you throw and apply to feng shui, you happen to be studying for your MBA, you happen to be studying for your whatever lah, okay, whatever that you're studying for. So the moon sector is a good sector for you to start to set up a study sector, right? So that sector usually is so if you take a look at it from feng shui perspective, the moon sector is usually the most quiet sector in your entire house. Quiet, let's say scary, dodgy, whatever it is, right? So it's very serene, the energy is very low vibration, stable type of energy. Right, so you go there, you have the sense of peace, right? So you can slowly analyze the data. More importantly is nobody come kacau you. Kacau mean that, give you problem. Nobody come and disturb you, right? So that's the moon, right? So the moon has the ability to blend in and disappear. So if you want to blend in and disappear, you go to the moon, right? So you can stand in the, let's say, you're in a party and then, you don't want people to, so you got some, let's say, social anxiety, right? So social anxiety, you need some time. You can open up the chart, look at it, where's the moon is, right? So then you go to the moon sector and stand there. You go to moon sector and stand there, you see magically like everybody don't really bother about you too much. And then you got time to observe other people. That's where you get information, you see. You get information by being, quiet observer, right? So same thing also, if you're in a meeting. So these are some of the application of Qimen, right? So you're in a meeting, right? So and that particular day is that, you don't want to be targeted by your management, right? So you want to stay there, just to observe the entire thing, right? So you open up the chart and then you take a look at which sector is the moon sector. Then you move yourself to that sector of the table to sit. And then you see that, you know, everybody will be, you know, giving their contribution. You'll be left alone, right? So no one bother you, and you'll be able to collect data as you need, right? So if you're a secretary, it's good for you to sit at the moon position. Yeah, secretary, you know, go take notes one, right? So you go inside there, you take notes one, right? So whoever job is to take notes on the day, take minutes of meeting, right? So, you know, you sit at the moon, then, you know, it's easy for you to take the minutes of meeting. And so those are application, right? So those are application, right? So now, but if you don't know what the hell the moon do, right? Then how you apply? A lot of people's problem is that they lack the what we call the definition knowledge of it, right? So now, first of all, no, moon is knowledgeable. So if you're trying to seek knowledge, moon may be your answer, right? So then number two is, you know, moon have the uncanny ability to observe, right? So, you know, it's a very observant type of energy, right? So again, for you to observe something, you need to stay quiet. Your energy also need to be very stable. So if you want to stabilize energy, moon is good. Right, so moon is good for observation, right? So it allow you to be stable in a chaotic environment. So that's why I say that, you know, if you're in an environment, the environment is, you know, very chaotic, cannot understand what is happening, right? So you might want to move yourself to the moon sector, right? So if you are doing a forecast, and then, you know, the forecast, you know, again, the forecast come in, the focal point is basically a moon. It is telling you that you required to calm down and observe the situation. So when you have the moon basically telling you action is not a good direction to go, it's just time for you to observe. You know, sometimes depending on what question that you're asking. So if let's say that you're asking, you know, oh, you know, I got this, you know, I'm trying to execute this right now. If you take a look at it, it tells you the moon. It means that it is actually a time for you to collect information rather than taking action. Right? See, can see, right? So when you are doing a forecast that time, that's why you need to know what is the actual question of the forecast first, before you can assist the other person in terms of what you are doing, right? So if you are trying to observe certain things, right? So you want to be an observatory person, or the task require observation, then, you know, the moon is the targeting component that you need to go and use. Right, so, you know, you can basically do that, right? So you understand the functionality of the component, then you can seek after the energy that the component offer. So if you're able to seek after the energy that the component is offering, and this energy right now is matching to the action that you want to do, so when you are performing the action, everything becomes smoother. That's all we are trying to achieve for me. So the energy does not help you do the work. That is also one of the big mistakes of people applying Chinese metaphysics, is that they think Chinese metaphysics is magic. It don't have any magic in it. It is just a energy, understanding how energy assists you in terms of the situation. So if you don't know what to do, the energy also not much of a use. Right, so, you know, if you are blur case, you in the what we call in the moon position, you're gonna become even more blur case. Right, you're gonna become even more blur case, right? So then it's very good at detachment, right? So, you know, detachment means that you are able to lift yourself up. Now, so you see, the moon does not belong to planet Earth. Anything that happened to planet Earth, the moon don't really care too much. So can you see the detachment or not? Right, can you see it? So it's because you are detached, you are not emotionally vested into it, right? So you see, the moon actually got very little emotional investment. So the moon don't have compassion one, right? The moon actually doesn't really have a lot of compassion. So it is just a third-party observer. Right, it's a third-party observer to the situation. Now it's there to do, right? So, and because you are not attached to the situation, right? So you are basically a bit distant from it. So it's easier for you to make decision. It's actually very difficult to make decision when you're attached to things, right? So when you are attached to something, you know, you try to make decision out of it. It's actually very, very difficult, right? So, but when you are detached with the situation, then you got the super ability to look at the situation in a more pragmatic, logical manner, right? So, you know, you want to look for logical people, you look for people who has the moon, and the moon suggests logical way of doing things, right? So this is what it offers, right? So once you understand already how these particular things work, then you now can identify, does the particular situation require this energy or not, or is the particular situation right now is presented with this energy. So when it's presented with this energy and your entire objective is exactly want to achieve this, then this is good law. So that's why, you know, when you're doing a reading, right, rest and see how a bigger picture, correct? That would be one of the things that the moon does, right? Detach from the situation, look at it from a bigger picture. So that's why the moon sometimes is being labeled as being cold. So you see, the moon being cold is not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's just that the moon is cold, right? So that's why if you want to do Chinese metaphysics, you want to understand Chinese metaphysics, you need to have this particular mindset that energy is just energy. You cannot have the mindset of good and bad. If you have the mindset of good and bad, very difficult to practice anything in Chinese metaphysics. You are too vested. So you get like, yes, it's like that. Right? It's like that. Okay, right? So you're just there to basically take a look at the situation and say that, this is the situation. So if you are practicing manifestation, right? So some of the things, right? So you can manifest for getting better, superior understanding, right? So the moon is very good at it. So if you know that you're trying to get better understanding, then your manifestation, you look for the moon, right? So, you know, collect information, put information together so that they make sense, you know, organize everything together so that it makes sense. Job of the moon, right? So if that is what you are trying to do, go, right? So ask for clarity in information, right? So that you can, you know, able to see the clarity in the information that is available. That is the moon, right? That's a department that the job or is done by the moon. But if your entire thing, you know, can you use this to understand emotion? It can be done, but you'll be understanding emotion from the logical point of view. So it's like studying psychology. Okay, studying psychology, you know, they talk a lot about emotion, mental state, but in a studying manner, right? So they'll just, you know, give you the listing of things, but you might not be connected with it. All right, you might not be connected with it, but I know you remember fact about the emotion, right? So every emotion also got a description that's been given to them, right? So you'll be able to see it from that perspective. Right, cool, pretty understand, not very difficult. Right, my moon is with delusion door, very secretive or blur case. Now here's the thing, right? Please, the delusion door is basically the delusion door just mean that outside people cannot see what inside people is doing. That's all only, right? So in knowledge seeking, the delusion door is basically expertise. You're in a position of expertise. And because you're in a position of expertise, other people don't know what the hell you are doing. You're the expert, other people don't know what you're doing. So now the problem is, it's very difficult for you to explain your situation to people. Right? So which means that, you know, certain things happen, you make a certain decision, but people don't understand why the hell you make this sort of decision right now. So they can't think. So so you're very secretive, right? So the moon allow you to be quiet, then the delusion door allow you to cut off from this, right? So it make very good for research, right? So, you know, if you have all the knowledge thingy together, and all the knowledge thingy together, right? Which is you got the assistant star there, right? So the assistant star is an information exchange platform. All right, so then you got the moon together, then, you know, you got the delusion door together, then you are going to be a classical otaku, right? Somebody who is just into information study. Okay, right? So then that's, you know, you're gonna have overdeveloped brain, right? So you're gonna be very good at, you know, information gathering, but the human side of you is gonna become very distant and very cold. So knowing that, does it mean that it gives you an excuse to be distant and cold? No, you just know that, okay, you know, this is how I like to function, but then I understand that the world doesn't function the way I function. You need to augment your interaction with outside, right? Which means that you need to start to learn how to open up with information, you know, start to regurgitate information, right? More or less, start small, all those kind of things. It's time for you to do that, right? So like, for example, if your forecast is, showing you that, all these components around, it could be over gathering of information. So now you need to know that, okay, my objective is actually for other people to understand this, not for me to understand this. Right? So which means that I need to force a regurgitation of information out. That's all I need. You see, it just change your overall strategy, because you already know right now the situation seems to be like we are doing over gathering of information. So now you take a look at your budget. Do you want to still to continue with the research? If not, then you need to move it to the second phase, right? You need to move it to the second phase. You need to move it in front, or you need to shut down the research already. If it's over researching, shut down the research. Right, so that's the reason why you do a forecast. The reason why you do a forecast is to think of the next possible move is through which direction, and is the direction beneficial to you. So if the direction is going in a tangent that is against whatever that you want to do, then your choice is to either change your plan to suit the direction, or you have to shut down the energy that is pushing this direction. Right? Makes sense, huh? Right, so that's basically what you're going to do. Shut down the energy means that either you clash the energy. Okay, and then you look at the clashing palace, see what is the suggestion of action that need to be done. Then you execute the clashing palace energy. Then you will shut down the energy on this side. But shutting down the energy on this side doesn't mean that it's helping your side. So you shut down the energy this side, it will still go other direction. That is the risk that you want to take. Right? So you just tell you that right now it's going this particular direction. Don't want, then don't go lah. Moon with live door can use information acquire making money. Again, live door doesn't really mean making money. Right? Live door doesn't mean making money. Live door just mean continuation. Right? So the idea is, as long as you are alive, you can always fix things. So moon with live door is somebody who will always find a way to survive. Got nothing to do with making money. I just tell you first. Right? So don't think I got live door, I know how to make money. No, you know how to survive. You know how to continue. Right? You know how to continue. So as long as one day you don't die, you will be successful one day. Right? So if you apply the correct things into researching about financial and money, then it will be financial and money lah. Okay, right? So that's all I need, man. Okay. Right, so the star is ambassador. This one is again. Wait until we talk about the star. Right, so you see different combination. You got different things that you can talk about, they look like. So now you see that it's getting a bit complicated. It's meant to be like that. Okay, yeah, you want to learn this, you better be okay with being very open and complicated. You think there's no actual answer. So that's why I say that you need to be very different from an English mindset. An English mindset is a definitive mindset. A Chinese metaphysics mindset is a non-definitive mindset. Same thing can mean many things. That's Chinese metaphysics. It's not possible for you to target one thing. Right? You want to target one thing, you go for English. Chinese don't target anything. Chinese take a big stick and hit everything. Right? Moon with grass and death, logical deduction, avoid pitfall, and in the end. Right, so okay lah, moon with death door, nothing much. And yeah, moon with death door is somebody who can accept conclusion, and usually it will pursue to the conclusion. So moon with death door is good for people who want to think of a what we call infinite game thinker. Then moon death door is a good one. But if you are playing with if you're playing with a finite game thinker is a death door with moon. Right, so it's basically the death door with moon. So if you are infinite thinking, if you're death door with moon, then not very advantageous. And your moon with life door would be very good for an infinite game thinker. But both of them are thinker. So you see, both of them are thinker. They are strong in thinking about situation that is different. Okay, it's not that the death door moon is not good. Death door moon is good if you have a actual endpoint that you need to reach. Like for example, death door moon, if you're talking about relationship, then it's very bad lah. Because relationship don't have endpoint one, Right? What is your endpoint for relationship? Don't have. Okay, right? So don't really have an endpoint for your relationship. Correct or not? So then moon life door then is a bit better for this sort of perpetual things. But if you are just doing one project, like for example, you just want to stop bleeding, that got endpoint one. Stop bleeding got endpoint ma. So if you find somebody who is moon plus death door, the fella will find you a method to end the bleeding. Gaudi, good for you. If you find a moon with life door, the fella will find you maybe different option. That doesn't really stop the bleeding. Right? So now if you want solution, right, you look for moon death door is actually a better solution than moon life door. Moon life door is continue to, especially if you look for medical solution. Moon life door means that you continue to eat the medicine until the day you die. Right, that's moon life door. Moon death door means that I give you something that ends it here and here. Either you end or your sickness end. Okay, it still end. Understand? Right? So you see, it depends on what you want. Right? Do you want this situation to be resolved or do you want the situation to be continued? If you want the situation to be continued, then life door would be a better choice. If you want the situation to end, then death door is a cheaper choice. So end and continue is not good, it's not bad. If you're in a stage of sickness, continuing is bad for you, but continuing is good for the medical practitioner because the fellow can continue to extract money out from you. Can see or not? So ending certain things may be bad for the commercial side of it. They don't have money to earn, but it's good for you that you found a solution. Buy something back, and then you find a solution, you fix the thing. So after you fix the thing already, the thing that you buy back might be useless already. You get to see the dynamic of things happening or not. So whether the thing is good or bad is circumstantial. It is not absolute, right? So you can see that Chinese metaphysics brain is actually very amazing. That is also why if you have a very definitive thinking, logical thinking mindset, it's very, very difficult to practice this. Okay, so example, back to 八字. If your DO structure is very strong, this is very difficult for you. Right? If your DO structure is very, very strong, it's very difficult for you. So if your EG is stronger, this is much more easier for you. Yep, DO people very difficult to do Chinese metaphysics. It's because why? They are too structured. They need things to be like this, and like this. But if you're thinking of it from a China metaphysics point of view, means that like this can, like this can, like this can, like this can. This is the correct interpretation. This is also correct. This is correct in this situation. This is correct in that particular situation, but it's the same situation. All right, if it's not confusing enough, but anyway, right, so this is for you to build database. All right, it's just for you to increase your database, build your database up, right? So that so there's many of things inside. So that's why I say that if you're fortunate enough, all right, so to be able to read Chinese, right, it's a good time for you to go to the internet and scour some of the Chinese information. But still, I just pre-warn you, all of the information interpretation is completely cannot use one. Completely cannot use, right? All right, so that's basically what we have for today, right? So that's the moon, right? So hopefully you can start using. Then we continue with the so-called bad guy, all right, so that's it, guys. See you all. Bye.